Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Today I want to get into a rank grind battle. I'm going to do some of my rank grind missions. I'm currently at high diamond and I'm fighting for champion. I can ascend right now, but I like to get a little bit of leeway before I make that move. I have a few energy, not a lot, but we can play 3 to 5 battles and see what we see. I'm currently renting a kitty, so we'll have some fun with that, I'm sure. Man, that card is good even to this day, and we are playing in wild, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't be able to use that amazing card. Before I do that, I want to say my name is Dwayne Cunningham. I go by Infidel1258. I cover Splinterlands on this channel because it's changed my life, and I think it could change yours. It's not the only blockchain-based video game I'm interested in, but it's the one that I want to talk about the most because it's the most impactful in my life. I just claimed 7 chests from yesterday, and I didn't get anything super special, so nothing worth showing, but I do want to, as part of my rank grind experience, just even pop over to Peak Monsters and see whether there's some cheap rental cards that can really change what I'm doing. I like going in here and searching max, and then I come over and I start with summoners. Usually the most integral or meaningful are going to be the Untamed. I already have a kitty, so I'm gonna I don't need to look at that one, but legendary is what I'm ultimately looking for. What's a Jotun going for? Max Jotun's going for 169 SPS or DEC a day. Very, very affordable. Wow. There's a max kitty right now for 187 DEC a day. This is almost worthwhile for me to cancel my existing rental just to lock this down, and then I think I got to do that. That's such a good deal. Yeah, and we're gonna try and see if we can get like a good. Maybe he'll cancel on us, but we're gonna try this. We'll rent for a full full season for $2.70, I think that was, and then we're gonna go ahead and cancel our existing. Now we will lose 800 EC on that original, but if I can actually sustain that cheap kitty rental for the entire season and then even rent it again next season, which I would like to do, then that starts to become worth it. It's a bit of a risk. You might say I should just held on to the 4-day rental for at my higher price rather than eat 2 days, paying for both of them for 2 days. But this is one of the things that, although it's not exactly specific to the rental, to the rank experience, you have to understand that what I'm talking about, what I'm doing here, why I'm doing this is all very important for maximizing my returns in the game. I want to win more, right? I need to have the right cards for that. If I want to have the most number of excellent cards, I need to stretch my dollar as far as it'll go. One of the ways to do that is rentals. If I find rental cards that are an amazing price, I need to take advantage of that. And looks like Jeff in his guitar is happy to rent this thing for 184 DEC a day. And if he's happy to rent it for that, if I can keep it long term for that price, I'd be happy to have that. So now I have 2 though, and I got to go ahead and cancel this one. And it will only cancel. Can I stop renting? Confirm. So it's in process. It doesn't stop immediately. You see there's 2 days and 16 hours left. I think I rented it 8 hours ago for 3 full days. And I believe you have to rent for at least 2 full days. So it looks like I'm going to probably spend 400 DEC or 380 DEC on this one that I don't need. At the same time, I'm going to spend 180 on this one at the same time, having two of a kind, but that's okay. So that's just one little thing that is hopefully going to help me win some of these battles. As we go along, if we see interesting things, I'm definitely going to pull up SplinterCoach. SplinterCoach got the very interesting tracking information. I love it. Infidel 1258. Boom. I've been noticing, like as I look at my current month data, we're at January 17th now. It's starting to get to a place where, look at this. I've rented most of this year. I rented. And this card has become, in the current month, my most played summoner. It does feel like, for me, that card's going to be worth picking up pretty quick. And I saw prices dipping down. Again, when I look at rental cards, I'm doing so because I want to stretch my dollar. I want to gain more for my time and attention. Same when I buy cards, right? I buy a card because I think I'm sick and tired of renting it. This one here, $9.99, sub 1,000. I'm interested, but I'm not going to rush into that. I have one over here at 1,100. I'm not going to rush into any of this. Looks like high bids are 67. You know, if I come in here and I bid If I offer 880 bucks, that's 80 bucks at BCX. 770, you know, maybe it happens. I'm not rushing. It would be a great card to have though. And look, I can throw it in right now. We are going to go Kitty. We definitely do Kitty in this context with the 40 mana cap. I'll play some McCain today too. I just love that card. But in this context, with the Noxious Fumes, I do want to bring Kitty. Now I probably need to bring a Cleanse. We have a 2 mana Cleanse over here with the slow, which will be great for Kitty. Plus we want a Martyr, or speeds. If we and I love the Martyr within the poison context. Now, do we have? I think I might have a Magic Phaser. Ooh, okay. I could think Coral Lurker could definitely be a play here. This is pretty interesting. And if I go like this, I can take advantage of the Martyr. And then I go like this. I think this is interesting. So see, I'm going to cleanse with the Scavel Chemist. I'm going to cleanse the Coral Lurker. I'll have speed. I'll have 6, 7, 8 speed. A blind would be great, but the problem is, can your blind sustain itself? An interesting alternative to this is probably something even like this. It's got the 5 speed. It's got the flight. Now this has dodge, 25%. So maybe, oh, I gotta hurry. Gotta throw something out. You know what? We're going like this. Oh, that's what we'll do. Let's give that a shot. Ah. Okay. That's not what I wanted. I wanted my Martyr to affect the Coral Lurker, but I ran out of time, and if I adjusted even one more time, I might have lost it. This is the problem of covering. This is the problem with covering the game while you're trying to play the game. Let's see. He's got Scattershot, so who knows where these things are going to land. The sneak attack is going to be annoying, but is he even going to hit? He has +2 speed. I have +2 speed. I have 2 more speed. He has 2 more speed, 3 more. So yeah, he's going to be hitting. But Noxious, like, he doesn't have Triage, he doesn't have Life Leech, he doesn't have Scavenge. I think all these guys are dead. And yeah, he might have me. He might cut my damage output in half. But this is one of my secrets to victory over here with the speed and the Martyr that's gonna turn his last stand into something major. Let's see what happens with them. I would love to see my Rose go down first so I can take advantage of the res, but let's see what happens over here with the Chemist. If he hits me, he shouldn't kill me. It's going to depend where the archery lands. See, his archery doesn't have to hit my taunt. Now, the first shot did, and the second shot even did. But now my Vruz is... Oh, he almost took out the Vruz there. What is going to happen here? The Vruz is going to die here on the Noxious. We're going to res him up. And then he won't have poison again, which means he won't necessarily die the following turn unless the archery lands on him. But as you can see, now the poison hasn't yet ripped through him, but it's certainly going to damage him. It's going to nearly kill everything. Oh, it did go through him already? Man, all of the magic... Is there an amp over here? Yes, there's an amp natural. That was an oversight. That's nice. We pulled that one through. So we are going to lose the last standing Afraid Elder. It's not going to become a last stander. But that poison, see, like, he's down to 1. And I've got 10 over here. And a heal. Yeah, I wish that didn't happen, but I don't know if it matters. He doesn't have... Even if he poisons me right now... I love how I'm the slow guy. Like, with 6 speed, I'm the slow one. There you go. Too many hit points. Too much sustainability. And the Scattershot is amazing. The Scattershot's really amazing. It's got more and more sort of opportunity to really be impactful lately because of how often taunt is being used, but also because of how Red Panda, not Kitty, what's his real name? You know, the panda. There it is, Lily Shieldpaw, and how that can centralize my attack, your opponent's attack. That camouflage is really gonna create a gateway where your opponent has to come through, and then once you know where they're coming, you can finish them and usually win. So because of that, because of taunt, it feels like Scattershot has like new life in it. But having said that, if you run a scatter shot, you know, I don't think that was the bigger issue, actually. I was going to make an argument about how Scattershot let him down. I don't think that's... As I look at the team one more time, I really think he lost because he didn't have enough hit points. All of these amazing monsters have 3, 4, 5 hit points. You know, even with the strengthen over here, it's just not enough. Noxious Fumes with no triage, with no resurrect, with no whatever, cleanse even. Like that was the end of it. Let's do a few more anyways. Melee for many, slow goes first, magic reflect. Okay, so let's focus in on archery. This is interesting, but this is like a little predictable. Let's focus in on archery. I do have Selenium Sky over here. That's interesting. Yes. Okay, and then we come in with the greens. What do we got from the archery perspective? Because we have some really powerful slow archers. Now these are interesting because of the scavenge. I really like it, but the speed is just a bit much within the context here. Within the reverse speed rule set. See, like 1 speed, 2 speed. This is such a cheap 2-speeder. You got True Strike on the Hunter Jarks. Gale Doctor is always nice. With that kit, this is just too... How you cannot say no. And +3 is not even that fast anyways. This is interesting, but it's probably too much mana. Ooh, this is really... Yep. I like this so far. I like this a lot. And it'd be great to do, you know, let's get the chemist out there. Put him up. Yeah, we'll put him there. And now I think we probably need to... That's probably enough with the archery. Tempted to maybe even consider Ava, and then we slip in because I could put her up front with the close range, and I put in a non-attacking monster. That's a possibility. Who would I do? So he could have melee from any position, which means that this Thorns could be valuable. Also, he's not likely to do magic, but he is. If he doesn't do, you know what? Let's try that. Let's go like this. Let me come in here and we got 8. We do the. Where'd she go? There she is. And then because of that, let's look for one more non-attacking monster. There we go. So now we've got 2 extra archers. Now this one actually won't fire from the first position, but it's got the full kit: Thorns, Magic Reflect, and Archery Reflect. Let's give that a shot. Boom. Plus it has quite a bit of armor. He didn't do magic, as we all assumed, because of the Magic Reflect rule set. The opportunity is going to be annoying, because he is going to like focus fire some things, but I suspect we're kicking out enough damage. That misses. Surprising. Yeah, especially with that poison. I think this is fine. I think this is over. Maybe I'm wrong. Might be jumping the gun here a bit. I like that we didn't die in that first round because it actually means he's going to be distracted one more time. And also there's 2 triages, right? There's 3 triages. Okay, but see, it's just not enough. Like if the front line doesn't sustain and your back line becomes your front line, it's just not going to work. And I got a lot of damage coming. A lot. And they're actually, you know, nice and slow, which is great with reverse speed. Yeah, we're in round 3 and he's, you know, it's over. This was a strong play. Now the magic attack or the archery attack becomes irrelevant because of, like I said, no close range. But man, that triple sort of attack kit. And I like obviously Ava the Undaunted in the second spot because it has close range. If it needs to become the tank, it's still going to fire, and it equips the field summoner. Weapons Trainer is definitely like the cornerstone of the new meta. Especially since the buff. I mean, no question about it. It's absolutely changed. And for people for most of you guys, you know what I mean when I say the buff, but for a few of you that are going to be maybe hearing this video not knowing what that means, the weapon training ability was recently increased, where it used to be if you had 3 damage, you would share 2. It also used to be where if you were the weapons trainer and you died, your neighbor who was being trained by you would lose or forget that capacity. And so that was changed. And so now you will, regardless of whether the trainer dies, the trained monster sustains that damage output. So those were 2 massive increases to how often that works. Plus there's a bunch of new monsters. You know, I didn't use any new monsters in that battle that don't have attack, but there's a lot of new monsters that don't have attack, and they're interesting in their own ways with their own kit. And now you slap a magic or a melee attack on it, or an archery attack on it, and suddenly, you know, it matters. It really impacts. So, and the way you can now double attach too, because there's even more weapons trainers. Most of you know this, but we're waiting for a game to queue up anyways. That way you can put a non-attacking monster between 2 different weapon trainers and give 2 different trained attacks is very powerful. Okay, and this could be... Okay, so back to basics, and everybody's got range. Okay. There's a very low mana. That kind of handcuffs me, right? Like at times... You know, I have more cards than many, so often a larger mana cup gives me the window to flex some of that deck that I have. And then back to basics, it's, you know, often I want to go magic. It does kind of feel like maybe so Kitty's too many mana for 16, because I would like to fire first, but I'm not going to spend 3 extra mana on a summoner. This is certainly interesting with the -1 magic damage output, because I do expect my opponent to drop magic, but Alaric is pretty juicy too. So for me, it's actually between Alaric and a Cane, and it would be a Cane because you get the 2 ambushes, which are going to be 2 different attacks. Let's just see what this would look like. And we would want to go magic. And I don't want to go, I want fast monsters. So I'm thinking boom, boom. You know, see, it's not going to be big enough. Like I'm already, like, this is it. Not enough hit points. I probably would go that way. And we could theoretically go boom, boom. But see, and with a Cane, I could do essentially 6 extra damage before my opponent even fires. Which is probably pretty huge. But is it enough? And the alternative would be I go a 3 mana Alaric summoner and I drop, you know, Igor Darkspear in there, or a 9 Kelp Initiate. So I think that's the way we got to go. So we go over and we pick the Alaric, and then we're definitely going to bring out, see, I think this is the play. We bring out a 9. See, I could do that, or I could do this, and then I get essentially, well, I get 4 less hit points, but I get probably 6 more damage. I think we got to do it this way. And see, I'm putting him in the tank spot, or the 3rd spot, which will be one of my tanks eventually. Ooh, he's got the trample. That might have been a play. Let's see how it works. The speed is definitely going to proc some tramples, because he's gonna fire first, I think. Yep. And I don't have any armor, so that's kind of juicy. And that's irrelevant to him, so now he's going to do it again, but he's going to run into armor. Boom, boom. Now he's going to... yeah, we are in big trouble. Yep, that's it. Interesting. I just wonder, like, obviously he won, and, you know, he doesn't need my advice, but didn't that feel... Isn't this a better... Like, what would this not have... Would he have been better off just putting the Pellicore Bandit in the first? Skipping this 3 mana monster, which is a meat shield, I know, but irrelevant, isn't it? Like, think of what else you could do. You could put Igor Darkspear back here. You could put, you know, another magic monster. You could put another melee monster here, so that when Pellicore Bandit dies, you've got Tidebiter as a tank, and you've got you know, you maybe Uraeus is here instead of the Chaos Agent. He won, so he didn't need to change anything. But I'm not sure I see this as part of why he won. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's do one more anyways. That was a 31 RP reduction. Let's play an Arcane. If we can play Dragon, we'll get Arcane out there. Okay. We got enough mana to work with the Arcane. The opportunity is nice because this is a good Arcane battle. Look, he's a Luxor, whoever he is. Man, the people who use Lux, like, only use Lux. That's the thing about Lux. Like, it's like people buy it and then they're like, oh, I'm just going to use it every single match. This could be just a bot too. I suspect it is. Remember, we're playing in Wild. And that's like, to me, it's like a mark of like whether you're a bot or... mind you, I use a bot on my main account when I'm not able to play, but in Wild. But just Lux to me is like, you bought that because you want it to fit in every single scenario. You don't have a massive summoner selection. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see who we're off against once we submit the team. Okay, so slow goes first. Try a Cane. I feel like Fire's got some pretty juicy slow monsters. Not at the 5 threshold. Like, look at this. That's a sexy little Inspire. And maybe we bring out the Slime. Now, my Slime is heavily under leveled. He's only at level 6, but he's still got a stun and a self-heal, which is interesting. And with the weak magic, I really like the Septic Slime. And then we bring probably the big Grum himself. Again, everything at 1 speed. This should be translating. And with the opportunity, it should translate. Now, a piercing would be really, really nice. Because if Grum just runs into 1 armor, it's not going to do what it needs to do. Forgotten One is probably in the lineup today. But Resurrect could be interesting. Now, no, I want armor. I want armor. I want sustainability. So Septic Slime is part of that picture. Antoid Platoon is part of that picture. This is even interesting to me. He's probably not going to choose magic. But even if he does, it's going to hit the armor. What do I got? So everything's going to shoot at Dumak first and foremost, because he's got 1 hit point. So a repair would be amazing, but you know what? Let's go camo with the hit repair. It's going to probably... Oh, I slowed him down with that though. Dang. And with the blast, he's going to focus the Dumak and then he's going to blast fire through. We'll see how that goes. But look, I got 35 seconds. Slow goes first. He's going to add 1 hit point to every one of his monsters. All my guys are going to essentially... They're going to focus in here first and foremost. I think if I do 2 melee damages, 2 melee ambushes, the Grum will go second. I got to give Grum a shot at firing first. I think we got to go boom, boom. The Grum's going to fire first and he's going to slap into here and he will hit and he's going to shatter the shield. That's all he's going to do. And then Dumak should finish. Not a huge meaningful like kill or whatever. But here's the thing. Dumak's days are numbered. He's at least getting 1 more shot off. Second of all, I don't think I could have contrived a scenario where the Grum was going to proc a Bloodlust. If there was a monster that was slower than him, they would have fired first, but he's a 1 speed. If there was a magic or a archery, they would have fired first, but I didn't bring one of those. And so as a result, I just tried to do what I could do. If I had sent the Tusk the Wide, the Thorns damage would have hit him, and it's an amp Thorn damage. If I sent the Antoid Platoon, he would be okay because of the shield on him. However, I want him to get more and more scavenge hit points before I start really utilizing him. So that's why I do mock. Let's see what happens. I'm worried about this blast. Of course, I think the blast might be the end of me, but we'll see. My slowing of him was a mistake, obviously. And I just hope that doesn't cost me. That stun is great. I was almost going to use him as an ambush for that purpose. And I'm glad to see that we ended up getting this stun off anyways. Thorns him. And then a retaliate. I'd love to... Yes, that retaliate's huge. I'd love 1 more retaliate before I say goodnight to Dumak. I like that Dumak got one more shot off. Retaliate, can I get one more? Yeah, that's huge. That's really, really significant. Breaking that armor, really significant. Stun again. Now, okay, so they are gonna rip through. I love that we got one proc off. Now we drop an armor. We get another scavenge for the Antoid. The Forgotten One's looking pretty powerful in this very moment. My shield kept me alive right there, but it's not enough. Now let's see what happens here. We don't have enough. He's got too much shield. He's got too much shield. He's got too much damage with this, particularly with the blast. Possibly if I had brought out a little magic, right? That might have been a play. Especially with, yeah, that would have been interesting. If I had, let's wrap it up here, guys. But if I had, instead of bringing, you know, obviously Scavo Hireling didn't add anything, and that was a last minute hurried decision. The repair was desirable, but the with the blast damage in particular, he didn't have any life to live. But what could have been really interesting, because the rule sets were included weak magic, which it'll say in a second there, I knew that Dumak Orc wouldn't necessarily die immediately. That he was going to be kind of okay. Not that he would last long and he died in the second or third round or whatever, but he wasn't, like, the one hit point wasn't vulnerable to magic because of the armor. So what I could have done was either brought more protect, like for instance, Antoid Platoon. Maybe I could have sacrificed, brought some protect in here. I could have brought magic monsters in here. Yes, I would have had to shoot through armor, but you know, they're not going to, he's got shield, and knowing that it's melee from any position, knowing that weak magic is, you know, this implies you almost shouldn't use magic. And so when your opponent thinks that, you know, one of my mistakes is that I leaned into what my opponent was expecting. The rule sets imply that, you know, I wouldn't use it. So almost maybe I should have, especially within the context of equal opportunity. I think it would have worked. Plus, it would have allowed my if I had a magic monster that did 4 damage or whatever, we could have got Grum a kill on the first turn with because the magic would have fired first, assuming it had 1 speed, and then yeah, we would have Grum kill. Maybe that would have changed things. Probably not because of the Odin Blast. But anyways, I enjoyed the rank play, guys. I hope you did too. If you want more content from me, let me know in the comments what you want me to ask about, talk about, you know, show you. Have an amazing day. God bless.